The memorial is coming, and we'll be there, and you'll be there, and we'll all be. You get the point. The Fan is broadcasting live from the memorial.
Sponsored by Ohio for Responsible Gambling and Orthopedic One.
The Fan.
Tire Discounters announces our latest breakthrough, TD Chat BS. This software allows us to detect untruths, deceptions, and even outright lies. Let's listen in as we call a local car dealer.
Hi, I drive your model of auto or truck. I need servicing.
Oh, that's great. You should always call the dealer for service to make sure your warranty stays intact.
Untruth.
Excuse me?
I can attend at Tire Discounters for all services,
No,
even
but-
for all manufacturers' scheduled maintenance. Warranty not affected.
But it's only us dealers who really know our own models.
Deception. Tire Discounters ASE technicians are certified experts for all makes and models.
Okay, maybe.
How many dollars do you charge me for? As few as Tire Discounters?
We are not that much more.
Outright lie. Ending call now. Bye.
No, but-
Adios.
but-
Aloha. Hasta la pasta.
Don't miss Tire Discounters Savor the Summer Sale. Details at tirediscounters.com.
This is the sound of a popular American motorcycle. It's the sound of freedom, the open road, really good times. And this is what it sounds like with a drunk guy in it. How do you like the sound of that? Cops are cracking down on drunk motorcycle riders. If you ride drunk, you will get caught and you will get arrested. Drunk riding, over the limit, under arrest. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Transportation.
Proper tree care is an investment that can lead to substantial returns and increased personal enjoyment. Hiring a certified arborist can help care for your trees and add considerable value to your property. Inspections by Ohio ISA certified arborists can often find and mitigate tree defects before they fail. Only professionals with specialized knowledge and training are properly equipped to provide appropriate care. To find an arborist, visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Highs will be around 87 this afternoon. We will be looking at a few more clouds today compared to yesterday. We do have a chance of a thunderstorm today as well. Tonight we get down to 65 under partly cloudy skies. And then on Wednesday, look for evening thunderstorms with highs in the middle 80s. I'm Doppler 10 meteorologist Dylan Robichaud on 97.1 The Fan.
Tipico Sportsbook is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Bishop & Friends. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Our top men are working on everything except this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
It's your Uncle Bo here. Erectile dysfunction can cause major relationship issues. In fact, men often push their partners away when ED becomes a problem. The condition can cause depression, arguments, breakups, even contribute to divorce. And here's the good news, though. There's help out there. Give my friends at Tri-State Men's Health a call today. So many men out there with a mediocre sex life or just good enough. Maybe you've tried pills or supplements. Working okay. What if it could be better? What could be much, much better? Tri-State Men's Health treatments work where the pills and herbals fail. They have treatments with success rates well over 90%. Do yourself a favor. Schedule a consult with Tri-State Men's Health here in town today. Your initial visit is $99. Includes a medical consult, licensed medical provider, a TNPSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. If that test dose doesn't work, that office visit is going to be free. It is a no-lose win-win for you. Give them a call today. Get your sex life back on track. 800-900-9654. Or visit tristatemenshealth.com today on that front. I have confirmed the farming game did make it here. We have some of that. DJ with that. So yeah, it made it. It's great. I recommend it, and big fun for the entire family. He's ready. The cherry. He's exactly ready. He mentions the cherry harvest. There's a lot of stress in harvesting the cherries, man. They're very fragile, very fragile.
And don't be afraid of it, because the website says whether you're a real farmer or an urban dweller. So it's for everybody.
It's for everybody. Yep. Yeah.
Well, it's like Tim May's not a real pilot, but I think he's flown all over the world.
You imagine like logging Tim May's hours on Flight Simulator?
I'm pretty sure he bought a new computer just for that.
So they have it on the Xbox Series X. You can download it.
You can get it there.
But I think he's got the full setup.
He's got the PC set up.
His is like a cockpit.
I hope so. I hope that it is a cockpit that can turn from a plane to a F1 or IndyCar.
Yeah, like the NASCAR driving simulators they have. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's the way to do that. There would be that. So I downloaded it when he was talking about it and tried it. I will tell you this: it's pretty soothing to like fly. I think one of the flights was like you pick up like over Manhattan and like fly up the Hudson to like West Point. Pretty cool. Like it's a nice little. But the boys would come, what are you doing? I'm like, it's just soothing to me. Just leave me alone for a minute. Like, let me just enjoy my flight here as I'm flying around Paris or whatever. So that is kind of a win. So I don't begrudge him that. Mark Schlabach yesterday put together his post-spring top 25. Georgia number 1, Ohio State number 2. This is how this is going to go throughout. I feel like the top 4 are going to be consensus. Like that's it. It's going to be Georgia, Ohio State, Texas, and Oregon. It feels like Georgia and Ohio State can be flipped depending on who's doing it, but they're 1 and 2. That's a lock. And then Texas is 3. In every one I've seen, Texas is 3. Oregon is almost always 4. He has Notre Dame 5. So you think about that from Marcus's standpoint. He gets Riley Leonard in the portal. They've got a lot of guys coming back, both sides of the ball. Offensive line is going to be elite. With them, it's just always about playmakers. Do they have enough to where they can contend at this highest level? But you're starting to see a lot of love for Notre Dame, and they're 5 on his list. Ole Miss is 6. For them, it's just a matter of, and we talked to Paul about this. He mentioned Feinbaum when he was on a couple of weeks ago. Like, all eyes are on Lane Kiffin, and all eyes are on Ole Miss. They were really aggressive in the portal. It does kind of feel like for them, my feeling for them is like this is the one shot. Like, let's push all the chips in. Let's see what's the most Ole Miss can be. And it's going to be whatever they are this year. They have to navigate the Southeastern Conference where everybody played the hits. Pull up their schedule for me, will you? I'm curious how ambitious their scheduling is. But Ole Miss comes in at 6. They certainly feel like how sometimes we would feel about Texas A&M. You know, like we got to have somebody from the SEC in there. So I guess it's Ole Miss this year is the darling. But I think there's a little bit more substance.
It is not ambitious.
Give it to me.
Furman, which is remember we did this in the NCAA tournament a couple of years ago and figured out they are the Paladins.
Paladins, yeah.
Then Middle Tennessee.
Okay.
Then at Wake Forest, so at least an out-of-conference road game.
Wake is
that's their big one.
To play Wake.
That's their big one, and it's on the road, and then Georgia Southern. So, and that's the first 4 weeks.
Okay, so you're 4-0. Go ahead.
Yeah. And then it's all SEC after that. So it's, But
do they get Texas and Oklahoma? Who do they got?
No, they do have Oklahoma at home. No Texas. They're at LSU, at Arkansas. They do have Georgia, which Ole Miss is in the West, right? Yeah, so that's a crossover for them.
Well, did they keep the divisions or are they going divisionless?
Yeah, I guess you're right. They are going divisionless, but I don't know how often they've played Georgia in the past. But you're right. That doesn't really matter anymore.
They don't play much.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't play.
They are at Florida at the end of the year as well. And then, second to last game, then they've got the Egg Bowl.
Okay, so their biggest games will be Georgia. Their biggest challenge will be Georgia, LSU.
Probably at Florida then, that next one. Unless Mississippi State surprises us. That's a rivalry game. It's always crazy.
Yeah. I mean, Florida may have fired the coach by then.
It's very possible.
I mean, that's in play. Oklahoma, it's very navigable for Ole Miss. Bama comes in at number 7. Missouri all the way at 8. 8. Eli Drinkowitz has that program at 8 in the country in the preseason. Number 8. Utah is 9, and then Michigan is 10.
Missouri beat the number 2 team in this rankings.
Massive Cotton Bowl win.
Did they?
Yeah, same team. Nothing has changed.
Dominated Ohio State for several minutes.
I'm worried about Notre Dame when I see them at 5. This happens so often with Notre Dame. They always get just that little bit of boost because they're Notre Dame. I don't think they're a bad team by any means, but what I'm worried about is you brought up the right point with the playmakers, but also the guy who gets it to the playmakers. I'm worried that Riley Leonard is not going to be the same player ever again.
After the injury?
Yeah, because it's been nagging him. Then he had a spring additional surgery on it. What is his actual health prognosis? When is he going to be back? So I'm worried that he might not be the same player, or we end up in a Cam Rising situation where it's like, oh, he's fine, he's going to be back, and then we get into the season, he misses the first game, but we just want him to be 100%. Blah blah blah. I don't. There's no scores there. I have no sourcing on that. It's just a feeling I have.
It'd be amazing if you were talking to the coordinator at Notre Dame, just be like, hey man, what's going on there? All right, so here you go. Here's Notre Dame's schedule. They open, God bless them, they open at Kyle Field. So A&M out of the gates, then they're home for Northern Illinois, then Purdue at Ross-Ade, then Miami at home, Miami, Ohio, then Louisville, Stanford, Georgia Tech, Navy, Florida State, Virginia, West Point, Army rather, and Southern Cal.
They've got like three neutral site games too.
It's pretty navigable for them, to be honest. I mean, there's not much there. Who knows what Florida State will be with DJ Uiagalelei? Go ahead, Reese.
Well, I was going to say, when you mean navigable, you mean get into the college football playoff.
Yeah, they're going to get in. Because even if you lose the opener at Kyle Field, which, Texas A&M, that's a total
like Ole Miss
start
ain't
over.
beating Georgia, but they're going to do enough to get in.
Yeah, Georgia. Yeah, Ole Miss is going to get in, and I think Notre Dame has a path here. It would take, it would take Marcus losing games that they have a decided talent advantage for them not to win. They're more talented than probably every team they play. Florida State and Southern Cal are in their weight class, but everybody else, they're more talented than A&M.
Who's the least likely then in the top 10 that you don't think is going to make the playoff? And tell me why it's Missouri.
Yes, Missouri. It's Missouri, right?
That just seems primed for fall off, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know their schedule, but all right, so,
manageable?
Oh, yeah. Here you go. Here's Missouri. So this is what they got. They open against Murray State. They got Buffalo. They got Boston College, Vanderbilt, Texas A&M, UMass. Oh, my gosh. They play UMass in week 7.
Action, baby.
Oh, my God. Auburn. Then they go Auburn, Bama, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Mississippi State, Arkansas.
So
they've got that
tough
stretch
down that stretch at the end.
That stretch in mid to late October where they go Auburn, Alabama, Oklahoma, South Carolina. That's the stretch.
But if they start in the top 10 and build up 6-7 wins, that's going to be they'd have to lose a lot of them to really drop out. But if I had to put money on it, that's who I would guess is not going to make the playoff out of the top 10 right now and in this list.
You do the opposite and you say, well, who outside of the top 10 is going? God almighty, you start thinking about a 12-team playoff, and this changes so dramatically. We used to be so worried about, how tight of a roadmap it was. All of these roadmaps are pretty loose now when you think about just getting to 12. It's much easier, obviously, from 4 to 12. All right, we'll try to identify somebody outside of the top 12 currently who looks like they have a path. We will get into that. And this is a monster week for college athletics. There is very likely going to be a settlement this week. My guess is it'll be Friday. There's very likely going to be a settlement. It will very likely usher in pay for play. Yeah, it's happening. It could happen this week. We'll get to it coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
When that alarm clock goes off, Morning Juice comes on. The perfect way to dominate your day or just lay around the house. Morning Juice.
Weekdays at 6.
The Fan.
New 2024. Up to 72 months Aria. Up to 36 months Rogue. And 6/3/24.
Reichert Nissan has an announcement to make. 0% financing is now available for up to 72 months. Take a Reichert Nissan Aria home today and pay 0% for 72 months. But that's not all. Reichert Nissan also has 0% financing on Rogue 2. Visit the Reichert Mega Mall off 270 and 33 or shop thousands of new and certified used at ReichertNissan.com.
Get the right car at Reichert.
We're dealing.
With approved credit. Residency restrictions apply. Offers cannot be combined. Dealer contribution affects consumer cost.
Get ready for summer parties with big savings at Menards. Shelter Logic event canopies provide shade and weather protection for tailgating and outdoor gatherings. Their heavy-duty steel frames have slip-fit connections for easy assembly. With so many options, you can find the perfect one for you. Check out all the options in store and find more great deals in our weekly flyer on Menards.com.
Save big money at Menards.
Now at UDF, buy 3 everyday favorites with UDrive Plus to quickly stack an extra 20 cents in gas savings. That includes drinks like Coke and Sprite, Pepsi, and Mountain Dew. And that adds up. UDF, made for you. Specially marked products with an opted-in UDrive account.
Ah, the sweet sounds of spring. The crack of a bat, chorus of birds, and the glorious hum of a freshly tuned AC system. Don't sweat it. Let the Waterworks Heating and Cooling team keep you in tune with a spring AC checkup.
We're all set.
Schedule a visit today and stay cool all summer long. Call the Waterworks Heating and Cooling team, 614-333-9720, or schedule service on our website. The Waterworks. Better care, better value, better AC.
Billiards Plus has everything for the master griller in your house. Come to their showroom, open the lid, and feel the difference in their grills. Professional, top-quality equipment at great prices with a huge selection ready to go home with you. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
The Fan is your home for the Dallas Cowboys.
No, we're not. You can't say that. Take two.
The Fan is your home of the Buckeyes. Yes, that's right. Same thing, but more playoff success. Now give Big Voice Guy another brandy. Thank you. The Fan.
The standing room only, with all eyes on the 18th green.
There was some speed to this.
The sudden roars.
Gauged it just right.
That Sunday celebration.
From Oslo to Ohio, Victor Hovland is the champion.
It's better live. Join us at the Memorial Tournament presented by Workday, June 3rd through 9th. Visit memorialtickets.com today.
My guys at Germain Lexus are getting ready for the Memorial. What they do every single year is let the golfers drive around in beautiful Lexuses for the week. Then they take those cars and sell them to you. You could be driving Rory's car. The Germain all-month-long celebration's going on right now. You can get great deals like this one. 2024 RX 350, 36-month lease, 10,000 miles per year, $49.99 down, $519 a month. I just picked up my brand new RX 350 a few weeks ago. It is plush. Germain Lexus of Dublin and Easton, germainlexus.com.
When you switch and save with Progressive, you could use that money towards scoring courtside seats for your favorite team. Progressive cannot guarantee that you can score courtside seats. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds on average, but courtside seats can be astronomical. Maybe if your team plays in a smaller market, you could swing it. Even still, it's unlikely. Maybe fourth row, which are still incredible seats that you'll enjoy greatly. Savings possible. Courtside, long shot. Switch and see if you could save at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance and Affiliates. Not available in all states. Progressive cannot guarantee that someone really tall will not sit in front of you at the game, rendering your excellent seats just okay.
It's a mystery where Old Spice finds its amazing scents like Himalayan sea salt, but I'm thrilled they have because no other body wash exfoliates and moisturizes 24/7 like Old Spice Gentleman's Himalayan sea salt body wash. Now, if only there was a mountain range separating the Indian subcontinent from the Tibetan plateau where I could hide my Old Spice and keep my family from stealing it, my impossibly smooth skin will finally be safe.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
What's up?
What's up, man? What's up with you?
All right, here's what's up on a Tuesday edition of the program. We're heading for a revenue split in college athletics. It feels, you guys remember the old, I want to say was it Warner Brothers who did the Bugs Bunny cartoons for like 60 years and they aired like forever? Yeah. And then now they're not. They're canceled because, I don't know, violence of a coyote. But in those, there was always the thing where there would be like a flood. And in my head, it was like Yosemite Sam or it was Elmer Fudd or one of those guys who there would be a flood and they would try to, the water was coming in and you would try to plug one hole and then another hole would open. So like as soon as you plugged one, another one would open. You plug that, another one opens. Yeah. And there's too much. Eventually the flood is taking down the wall, Elmer. I'm sorry. And that's where we are. We're at that point. Now, the thing that is going to be fascinating is once you accept the fact that it's flooded, then can you build a dam? And that's the part that you're at with the NCAA and college athletics at the moment is can you build a new structure that can withstand where this sport is going in the court of law? That's where you're at. So this is going to happen this week. Ross Dellinger all over it. It's the same people. It's Murphy, it's Dellinger, it's Kristovich, it's those guys like Nicole Auerbach. Vanini, it's the same Vanini. There's 4 or 5 of them that this is what they do. And they keep you up to date on where all of this stuff is. So this is going to happen this week. Think about how long you've waited on this, folks. I remember Threes and I talking about this in 18, that this was how this was going to have to go. It took them like 6 years to get there, but they finally did. And not by the way of their own choosing. They got pushed into this and forced into it. Here's a series of Dellinger tweets from last night. After a lengthy and robust discussion Monday over several proposals, the Finance Subcommittee of the NCAA Division I Board of Directors is recommending that the board, the original proposal, not the altered plan to finance the $2.77 billion settlement damages. The D1 Board of Directors will meet this week, potentially to approve the NCAA's framework of payment of the $2.7 billion in back damages, 60% from school reduction, 40% from NCAA office. So just think how much liquid the NCAA has if they can write a check for this. Under the plan, Power 5 reduction will pay 40%, 27%. 27 other leagues will pay 60% of the 1.65. So the big boys said, hey, you're still going to pay your 60 because there's more of you, even though this really isn't about you. We talked about that yesterday, Reese, how the Power 5 at one point was like, hey, maybe we should take on more of this since this is about us. No, they're not. The group of 5, the 27 other leagues, as if they're all in the same boat, they're going to pay 60%. It's going to cripple them.
Yeah, and they tried to send a proposal, and they looked at it for a day and said, no.
Nah, we're good. We're going to have you guys pay most of it. So we went over yesterday on the show, like there's upwards of 30 what used to be group of 5, non-Power 5 conferences. We'll have to come up with new terms with that because obviously Power 5 doesn't exist anymore. But for some of them, it'll be the difference of those conferences losing $3 to $5 million a year in revenue. And for some of those conferences, it's a big deal, really big deal. Around here, you find that in the cushions. But in some of these places, that's the difference between an athletic department going or not. It's a difference between programs going or not. So this is going to be absolutely devastating for, I think, a lot of these group of 5, what used to be group of 5 programs. Dellinger continues, the D1 Board of Directors' approval of the financial framework would be the second of a 3-step process in the NCAA's authorization of settlement terms. The NCAA Board of Governors, which manages litigation matters, is set to meet this week, represents the final step. How much money has the NCAA, and by that I mean the universities, spent on litigation in the last decade? How could you even quantify?
Yeah, I have no idea. They're in court at multiple times of one day.
Hundreds of millions? Is that too much? Is it tens of hundreds of millions? I don't know
it has to be
in the millions. I just don't know how big.
2.27 billion is like, okay, let's pay this and hopefully it stops. So yeah, it has to be in the hundreds of millions, because if it was lower, then they would just keep going to court. Right. It's not worth this amount of money if you're still in the millions or tens of millions. If you're in the hundreds of millions and no end in sight, then I get it. But what I'm a little unclear on with these payments is the NCAA is paying 40% from their office and the schools are paying 60%. Is the school's payment coming completely out of the lesser payouts from the NCAA, or are they giving money to the NCAA and getting smaller payouts?
I think it's the former.
I think so, too.
The way I read it, it's the former, that they will get less money from the NCAA basketball tournament going forward.
That's why they use that word reduction.
Yeah, so I think it's that more than it is the latter, where they're going to have to write checks for back pay. And by the way, this is just one form of litigation. There are multiple lawsuits with multiple back pays. They're hoping what this does is gives them antitrust protection, and so they can't be sued on this again and again and again. That's what they're banking the 2.7 will make right. Who's going to get that money? Who's going to distribute that money? The 2.7. Who's it going to? Is it going to every college athlete over the last decade? Everybody's going to get a cut of $2.7 billion? Guess what? That's not going to go very far if it's that. Like, what's the end game here? How do you decide who's going to get it, when they're going to get it, and what portion of the 2.7 they're going to get? Just the people in the lawsuit? How many people are in the lawsuit? Furthermore, and again, this goes back to my initial analogy of the guy with can you build a dam, right? Okay, the water overwhelmed us. Now, where do we go from here? So the next thing that's going to come of this is revenue sharing. There's going to be a percentage of money that the Power 2 and plus 2 model, whatever it's going to be. We're going to maybe 2 and 2. Is that what we're going to call it? Power 2 and 2, like Chuck Woolery?
Sure, that's what we need to call it.
It's the best I can come up with on the fly. But there's going to be a revenue sharing model that comes out of this. Because now they're going to try not to use anything that has to call them employees. They don't want that at all. But again, I don't know how they avoid it. And the proposal that is part of this is around 20% of revenue going to athletes. Okay, but is 20% of football revenue, 20% of men's basketball revenue, women's basketball revenue? What happens to everybody who doesn't make revenue? And then who gets the split of the 20%? Here's my point. If you're still going to act like everyone who plays college athletics is the same, it's a mess. The only way that you're going to get an arm around this is if you acknowledge football and basketball are different. That's it. If you try to treat everybody the same, I don't understand where this stops. And I don't know how it quenches, how it addresses the issues of the sports that make all the money. I don't understand how this is going to solve that at all and keep them out of more litigation. I really don't.
I wonder if this settlement, too, will be kind of the NCAA, are they just plugging another hole with the settlement? Because what is the wall falling down? Well, is it the end of the NCAA? Will these 27 other leagues say, you know what? We're done. We're not paying it. What are you going to do? Sue us? Or are they going to sue them while they're on the hook for $2.27 billion? Yeah. I just don't understand why those lower leagues would care to play ball with this deal. Just because they get invited to a basketball tournament that's going to pay out less over the next 10 years anyways?
So they would need a television partner to have an interest in their wares, right? They would need that to be able to bounce. That's what you just described as it's not you, it's me. That's it.
Yeah.
Like that's what you're trying to do there. Reese, you were an alumnus of one of these institutions. If you were on campus for those years, if you're at Ohio, what's the roadmap?
If you are on the hook for any of this, as a conference in the group of 5 or as a member school in the group of 5 that has to pay in, this kills you. This kills your athletic department. It was Sportico that had, in the 2023 fiscal year, the revenue and expenses for athletic departments in the Mid-American Conference.
Yeah.
It's red for for all, I believe, the member schools.
Right.
And it's similar in the rest of them. So to Chops' point, I think if you're the MAC, you're just like, we're not paying any of that. And you can come and repo our car, I guess.
Good luck.
Yeah, it's that or we are dead. We are financially dead.
Yeah.
And so I think for the point that we've made over the past couple of years of getting them a different a television deal, a different postseason, a different way of generating revenue that separates them from what this is going to be. Because, and I think it does take a radical, and you got to admit you're not the same. And so maybe I think they've already done that. I think it's as easy as I can sit here and say, yeah, this isn't the same. And so if there's that radical acceptance, then they can come up with something that helps them, but it also separates completely. They have to.
It comes back to, something we've said so many times. You cannot have a governing body attempt to have legislation that addresses Ohio State's problems and Denison's problems.
How about the Fordham Paladins?
The Fordham Paladins. It just you can't.
No.
These things are not all the same, and they can't be governed the same.
And they sort of admitted it by not having D2 and D3 be a part of this payout.
Right.
But the rest of D1 is still. And how are they functionally different than D2 schools? When you get into some of those leagues that we were reading off yesterday.
Yeah, there's just no path, no roadmap forward for them as this is constructed. And honestly, it's not going to be our problem because we're primarily talking Buckeyes, and they're going to be fine when it comes to this thing. Coach Prime, big wins, stacking dubs, as the kids say. We'll get into that coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
Wake up with The Fan. Eat lunch with The Fan. Go to bed with The Fan. Dream about The Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
Common Man and T-Bone here for the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
It's our absolute favorite place to go for that live VIP Sportsbook experience. 12,000 square feet of Sportsbook action. 2 huge walls of TVs, not to mention delicious food and drink. But your experience can be even better if you download the Penn Play app.
Yep, you can get up to $140 in rewards. It's so easy, dummies like us can do it. Got to download the free Penn Play app today and cash in your bonuses. Plus, you never know, and you'll see Man and I lurking around.
I'm lurking. Must be 21 or over. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
At Metal Supermarkets, we're all about getting you and your crew to quit in time sooner. That's why our service is a cut above. You see, no matter the project, we'll get you to the right metal, shape, and grade. Cut to any size, ready real fast. And yeah, we'll deliver. Leaving plenty of time for the important things, like opening an ice-cold can of aluminum. Metal Supermarkets, the convenience store for metal.
Goals. Have you written yours down? We have, and we review them often. This is Mike Weens, founder of CARE Heating and Cooling. CARE's goals are defined by measuring many things, and our most important goals are not measured in dollars. CARE constantly seeks feedback through surveys and online reviews, not only from our existing customers, but new ones as well. CARE tracks how often we solved your problem the first time, and if CARE was easy to contact and convenient to deal with. Was a carbon monoxide test done? Was the reason for a repair made clear? Did our technician adequately explain the difference between a required repair and a recommended service? We want to know if our technicians treated you and your home with respect and care, and were our customers' needs thoroughly analyzed and addressed. Simply put, Care Heating and Cooling sets goals designed to make Care the best service company in Central Ohio. Care Heating and Cooling. Call 1-800-COOLING when you need a company you can trust.
Common Man and T-Bone are known for many things. And while great radio ain't one of them, shoving food down their gullets is their specialty. Join Man and Bone for Fat Boy Food Tip.
Live at 3 or on the podcast.
Your home for fat. The Fan.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Roof leaks and damage can ruin your business and your reputation. Property management pros trust Legacy Roofing Services, Ohio's leader in commercial roof repair, replacement, and ongoing maintenance. At Legacy, our reputation for fast, reliable, safe, and permanent roofing services for commercial buildings can solve your roofing problems before they become roofing nightmares. Call Legacy Roofing Services today, 800-880-ROOF, 800-880-ROOF. Legacy Roofing Services.
Ad paid for by the Sentinel Group. Attention Marines, military personnel, families, and contractors who were stationed at Camp Lejeune. Were you present at Camp Lejeune between August 1953 and December of 1987? You may be entitled to significant compensation. For nearly 34 years, those in the Marine Corps' base Camp Lejeune were exposed to contaminated drinking water, resulting in devastating injuries, including several forms of cancer, adverse birth outcomes, Parkinson's disease, and more. North Carolina's procedural laws have prevented victims from getting the justice they deserve, but passage of the Camp Lejeune Justice Act of 2022 would allow you or a loved one to file lawsuits seeking compensation for illnesses and injuries linked to the toxic water. Call today for your free consultation. 800-532-4724. Let our experienced attorneys fight to get you the compensation you deserve, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Call 800-532-4724. That's 800-532-4724. Again, 800-532-4724.
Want to know anything about the Fan's contests, how to win, or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Producers, co-hosts, friends, some of those things are true. You're listening to Bishop and Friends.
Hey, it's your Uncle Bo here. Proud to tell you about my friends at Diamond Cellar. Springtime, the giving season, everything from weddings to anniversaries, babies, graduation. It's all there, and I'm here to tell you firsthand, no better place to find the perfect gift for any occasion than Diamond Cellar. As a true jeweler, they have the finest selection of luxury jewelry, world-class designers, or they create something one-of-a-kind just for you. I've asked them to do this. They crush it. Diamond Cellar. Check them out. Sawmill Road, Easton Town Center, or diamondcellar.com. True story. My father-in-law had his watch stolen on a golf trip. And it was a very specific type of watch that he had since he was a kid. And they were searching everywhere to find it. Couldn't find it. I contacted Diamond Cellar. Through their watch program, I was able to find the exact one, and he could not have been more thrilled. They will take care of you in that way. So they're the best people, and they got your back in those type of matters if you're looking for something special in that regard. Something special happening at Colorado in terms of box office. So we saw it last year from a television rating standpoint. We saw it last year from the standpoint of College Game Day, Big Noon, consistently going to Colorado. It lasted a month, and then they fell off the grid. Because they weren't winning. They didn't have depth. This year, you wondered, would the box office be there again? Well, it is, at least in terms of the commerce of it. Before Deion Sanders was hired as head coach of Colorado, Colorado had not sold out their season tickets since 1996, the final year in a 7-year streak that began with the program's national title in 1990. Yeah, Colorado won a national title in 1990. Colorado had never sold out season tickets prior to August until last year. Well, they did it again this year. For the second straight season, Colorado sold out their season tickets. It is hard and more difficult for me to envision a scenario where he is there after this year. I just see no scenario where Travis Hunter's gone, his kid's gone. By the way, looks like his kid's going to be the first quarterback off the board in the NFL draft. Are we really to think that he's, and by the way, I don't blame him. Like, Colorado's won here too. Like, they've paid him money. He put their school on the map. We talked about this last year in terms of the enrollment that went up because of it and the amount of applications they had to their program, in large part because of it. All of those things worked. They're selling season tickets. Like, even if he leaves after this year, this has been a net win for the University of Colorado. All you needed was game day and big noon there in September, and you get a look at the Flatirons behind that campus in the mountains, and you go, that looks like heaven. I mean, that looks about as close to perfect as can be, and the campus is stunning. They've won. Even if this is a 2-year and out deal for them, even if they don't win on the field, they've won at the box office. And that part can't be ignored. So even if he's gone, which, again, I see no scenario where he's going to want to grind and get another quarterback and get another 5-star and all this. He doesn't want to recruit.
No.
So I don't see any scenario where he's there past this year. And even if he leaves, I still think it's a net win for Colorado.
Part of the reason that football coaches are so frustrated right now, I mean, we talk about the calendar all the time, but why is the calendar so frustrating? Because you're always working on this year, next year, and probably even the next year if you're a football coach, maybe even 3 years out. Deion Sanders doesn't seem to be operating that way, and so if he's not bringing in those star players in the recruiting that he got at the beginning, which are, one is his son, so that was an easy one, but to get Travis Hunter, that was huge, and then to bring him over, that was really big for Colorado. But if they're not replenishing those guys and they continue to have less than, I mean, last year's season ended up being so high at the beginning, but they're still 4-8. Like, how many transfer players are going to say, "Oh, I want to go play there for Coach Prime"? Like, how much is his selling going to work going forward? I don't think it's going to. I think he knows that, and I just don't think he cares, because I agree with you. I think his plan is to be done after his son leaves and to say, that was a fun couple of years coaching college football, and I'm done, and that's why I'm not building for the subsequent years, because he knows he's not going to be there.
It's funny because all of this was in the brochure, and I think Coach Prime was just like, nah, I'll do it my way, and it'll work. I guess it kind of has.
So it depends on your definition of work.
Right. I mean, they were better. They went from 1-11 to 4
wins.
Yes, they went from you could have argued when he took the job that it was the worst Power 5 program in the country at the time he took it. They were on a very short list at that time. And he put them immediately on the map. He immediately enriched the university via enrollment, via season tickets, 2 years in a row. So
got them to a point where they got to lead the way to the Big 12, too.
That is a critical point. I was getting there. Good job out of you. Without him there, I don't know. They might be in the same exact spot as Washington State and Oregon State. They're they're closer to Denver. They're the state university of the state of Colorado.
They were in the Big 12 before.
They're better than, there's some lineage, but at the same time, like where their program was, they weren't in much better spot than those two. And instead, they got to kind of lead the way to the Big 12. They were like at the front of that. So they got the security that came with that going forward, in large part because of him and the popularity. So it's won in all of those ways. It just didn't manifest on the football field in year one. And when you look at the way their roster is built in year two, it's hard to imagine they're going to have the depth to sustain anything. Now, their schedule could be more manageable this year than it was last year. Last year was pretty brutal for them when you looked at what they were trying to do football-wise. But to me, I see just very little chance of this being anything more than a one-and-done situation for him. Here's the schedule. They open with NDSU. The Bison are not what they used to be. Mm-hmm. It'll be formidable, but they're not what they used to be when they were running through 1AA. Then they go Colorado in Lincoln. Then they host Colorado State. Then Baylor at home, UCF, Kansas State, Arizona, Cincinnati, Texas Tech, Utah, Kansas, and Oklahoma State. It feels a lot like best case scenario, like 8-4.
There's not a bunch of
like in there.
Not a bunch of NFL quarterbacks on that list like there was last year in the Pac-12. Yeah.
No. This one is far easier for him to have success than it was last year.
What do they do if he's great? What if they're great this year and they go 10-2 and they make the playoff? And then what does Deion do?
Then he walks.
He just walks and says, "That was fun."
I don't know. I was just thinking about that. If they go 8-4, that could be a playoff team. And if they make the playoffs and he's got success, the first round win, second round win, I don't know what.
I think make your conversation at 10-2. Like 8-4 probably doesn't do it.
Not out of the Big 12.
Might.
If they
10-2 might. And then if you're the 11 seed, well, that would be box office because you're making television shows. That would, if they go 10-2, Shadur Sanders is going to be in the Heisman.
Yeah.
Or Travis Hunter. Like if those things happen, they would be box office at that point. He's already proven he can rate. That's known.
Then it would almost become a prerogative of the Big 12 to make sure he stays as well. Because how many things are they going to have that are such marquee like that?
Even still, who's going to replace his kid? Like, who's replacing Travis Hunter? Like, I don't see anything sustainable with
someone in the portal.
Somebody will. Yeah. All right. We'll hit the real truth coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
1, 2, 3. Here at The Fan is always football o'clock. Proud to be your home of the Buckeyes, Browns, and all the NFL games you can handle. The Fan.
Have you heard? There's always more at Speedway, like a Big Bite hot dog and Big Gulp drink for only $2.50. We've got what you're in the mood for, and now you can get more with less. Get your big meal deal for only $2.50 with Speedy Rewards. Valid through 1/7/25. Speedway has the right to end this promotion early, plus tax. Participating U.S. stores only. See app for full terms. All rights reserved.
Your Memorial Day weekend haul can be found with one stop at Meijer. Pick up fresh from Meijer 80% lean ground beef family pack for just $2.99 a pound. Plus, buy 5, save $5 on Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce, Breyer's ice cream, and 24-pack Coca-Cola or Pepsi products, plus deposit where applicable. And rev up your savings and earn 50 points per gallon of gas pumped at any Meijer Express through June 1st. Get everything you need for Memorial Day this week at Meijer. Exclusions apply. See all the deals in the Meijer app.
Hey, it's Anthony from my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. You know what Rich is up to? He's got Memorial Day sales going all month long. Interest rates starting as low as 1.90% on the 2024s. The Civic LX sedan, the Accord LX sedan, and CRV LX two-wheel drives. And he's going to throw you an extra $1,000 for your trade. He wants to give you the best deal in town, and you will not be disappointed. Germain Honda of Dublin is my Honda dealer in Central Ohio, and hopefully yours on Sawmill Parkway just south of 270.
Hi, this is Ron Frost with Ohio Mulch, and we are proud to serve our customers for over 40 years, where our name means a great deal. So now it's time to drop those prices so you can save big. All bulk mulchers are now $10 off a yard. I told you, it's time to save. Visit us online at ohiomulch.com.
I love a beautiful, healthy lawn. That's why I use TruGreen. They take the hassle out of fertilizing, aerating, and controlling weeds plus mosquitoes. All you have to do is water and mow. Give yourself time back to do what you want. And to top it off, sign up by May 28th and save an average of $200 when you bundle lawn care and mosquitoes. Visit TruGreen.com for the best lawn at the best price, guaranteed. Restrictions apply. When you're on a business trip, you know what goes completely off the rails? Your workout routine, especially when you book a hotel that doesn't have a gym. So what ends up happening is you do a few push-ups and sit-ups in your room, run around the block, or just skip it entirely. Lame. If you just stay at La Quinta by Wyndham, you'll discover there's a fully equipped fitness center at every location. Now you can wake up and power your buys and tries the right way or de-stress with some cardio. The choice is yours. Tonight, La Quinta, tomorrow you shine. Book direct at lq.com.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reeser. NBA Conference Finals begin tonight with Game 1 in the East. The Celtics host the Pacers at 8 o'clock. We'll have that one on the Fan right after the Buckeye Show. Tomorrow night in Minnesota, the Timberwolves host the Mavericks in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals. In college hoops, Ohio State will open the 2024 season on Monday, November 4th, taking on the Texas Longhorns in Las Vegas as part of the Naismith Hall of Fame series. That game will take place at the T-Mobile Arena. Tickets for that will go on sale today at noon. In college football, the Athletics reporting current Georgia quarterback Jaden Rashada has filed a lawsuit against Florida coach Billy Napier and 3 others over false and fraudulent NIL promises. The suit alleges Napier called Rashada's dad on signing day 2 years ago and said a booster would wire him $1 million if he signed with the Gators. And in baseball, the Guardians go for 5 in a row, hosting the Mets tonight at 6:10. Breaking sports news when it happens on The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The uncle you never knew you had. The friends you kind of wish you didn't. This is Bishop and Friends.
If you would have gone, if you go back in time to when the Jaden Rashada rumors were out there of the $8 million Florida payment, and if you would have asked anybody at that time, and we were doing the show at that time, and said, how do you think this will end? Poorly would have been the number one choice. For sure. It felt that way in the moment, and now the kid is suing them. So there's a lot to get to on this. I think I'm going to table it for tomorrow because there's also an athletic piece with the various collectives about how they're handling kids. Was it Vanini that wrote that with Ari? Who wrote that?
I actually saw it in the Skull session today, so I just saw that it was an athletic article. But yeah, the quotes in there are very interesting of how these collective CEOs like to talk about their deals.
Stuart Mandel had the, bullet points that I referenced in the update.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he says he's got details to follow. So more to come.
More to come on this. Yeah, this is going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly because there's no oversight, and it's everything that you thought it would be when this launched.
And then are you going to be a school like really fighting, like, it's not a countersuit, it's the same suit,
the kid's
but like
at Georgia
a current
now.
player?
He's at Georgia. Like, it's a mess. We said, James and I said this when this was all starting to get hatched, and we were really on point on it, that this was going to be self-governance that was going to stop this. It was going to be the collectives themselves saying, wait, what's my ROI on this? And there is some of that that's starting to happen. And this is probably an example of this in terms of where you got actual litigation. All right, let's hit the real truth.
Bishop and Friends present The Real Truth.
Sponsored by Diamond Cellar. Over 76 years of experience and guaranteed lowest prices on Sawmill Road or diamondcellar.com.
All right, first one up today. Mike Conley, still alive with the Timberwolves, is the third best NBA Buckeye ever. Is that the real truth?
Yeah. So it's in order. This is what it is in order. It's Havlicek 1, Jerry Lucas 2, and then Connolly 3. I think from a longevity, just because Mike read it, it's a short. Jimmy played for a long, long time. But there wasn't the overall excellence that Connolly has had. Jimmy was incredible out of the gates with Dallas, but then by the time he gets to the end, kind of journeyman through it, had a great career. All these guys made a ton of money. But Mike Connolly, and those comments that Joker said about Connolly, most underrated player in the NBA, all he does is everything right all the time. That's what he's become. This is year 17. And if he can cap this, now he's in a Western Conference final. I think they're the favorite to beat Dallas. They might be the favorite to win the whole thing at this point. Maybe Boston still is just because of the roadmap. But if they get to the finals, my hunch is they'd be the favorite. And he's kind of at the middle of all of it. And he was a catalyst in Game 7 for them. He was very good in terms of getting him in the right positions in Game 7 on Sunday. I don't think it's prisoner of the moment. I would have him third. I do think it's the real truth.
I think you're probably right. The unfortunate thing is because the Buckeyes have nobody, in the last 10, 15 years has really jumped on the scene and been just like a perennial all-star level player. Greg Oden seemed like he could have easily been that, but he just was injured the entire time he was in the league. And so when you name these other guys, now Mike Conley obviously is in this group. I've seen Mike Conley play for years now, and I'm still watching him play. But all those other names you listed, like I know all those guys are good. But I have no personal point of recollection of any of them playing. And then, the first two you named, I don't even think you would. Like, that's like...
Well, no, Chuck, I'm not that old.
Yeah, so...
I didn't see Havlicek play.
So that's just... It's a weird spot where, yes, I think it is the real truth, but it's hard for me to make an argument for putting too many people in that list or above them. I feel like that is the list. And here we are. But yeah, he's a guy who does everything right. And he's the inverse of what we always talk about, the pain in the ass versus talent line. And if you go under it, well, it goes the other way too. If you're a great guy and your talent starts to dip, you might still have a place to go. And I'm not saying Mike Conley's a scrub now or anything. He's still a really good player, as Joker said, most underrated player in the NBA. But he's been able to stay on teams and people want him on their team because he's a good guy.
Yeah, in my lifetime, he's the most successful professional Buckeye. I mean, he's a 5-year, 100. No. I'm trying to get his career earnings is like massive. Million. So I don't have any. I'm trying to add it up, but I'm not good at doing math on the fly. But in terms of professional success, it's Mike Conley.
Here's your this would I think would be your Buckeye basketball Mount Rushmore when it comes to hoops. John Havlicek. This is Havlicek's career is unbelievable. Obviously, he's a Hall of Famer. He's on the NBA 75th anniversary team. He was a 13-time All-Star. He was an 11-time All-NBA. So he's gold jacket, first ballot.
Yep.
Away we go. 8-time All-Defensive, 8-time NBA champion, John Havlicek.
Yeah, and this Mount
Finals
Rushmore, we're
MVP.
sticking with NBA career, right?
NBA career only.
Yeah.
Yes, NBA career, former Buckeyes. He's there. Jerry Lucas is on that list. Absolutely. The amount of Jerry's career is crazy too. When he ends up winning a championship with the Knicks late in his career. I've had a chance to interview Jerry. He's could not be cooler. Photographic memory, I believe, too, on him. 7-time All-Star, 5-time All-NBA, 75th anniversary team, champion with the Knicks, all of those things. I think Mike Redd would be the fourth on that. He was an 03-04 All-NBA and a one-time. The thing with Mike was he just got hurt. Was the problem. It would be between him and Jimmy Jackson, I think, for the fourth spot. Jimmy was obviously the better college player. I mean, his college career is pretty legendary. But just from an award standpoint in the league, the career is really long. But there's not that all-star, all-NBA stuff that Mike has.
$274,127,986 with 3 teams in Michael Conley's career at the NBA.
Good Lord.
So he has a pretty strong chance to hit $300 million. Like that could possibly be in his future. Yeah, wow.
And he's no reason to not keep playing. He could make $300 million. Yeah, it's in play for sure.
Deshaun Watson will be 100% by the start of training camp. Is that the real truth? Tell us, GM.
He's on track for that. Here's what's going to be. I'm going to say no, not the real truth. And the reason I'm going to say that is because I don't think even if he is, they will tell you or he will tell you. There will be a game of cat and mouse that's played between him and his camp and the media and everybody publicly over the course of this summer that, quite honestly, is going to be exhausting. But no, I think that it probably won't be fully known, let it rip by camp. The reason we talk about this is because OTAs are starting and you're starting to see guys back at facilities slinging it around. We saw Burrow last week. We have still not seen Watson. He's up there, but we haven't seen any images of him like on the field, Pat throwing the ball around. So nobody really knows where he is. He had an availability a couple of weeks ago. Well, I mean, he was doing a podcast live and talked about, like, I won't know until I know. Like, that's going to be the marching orders on this, and it will be frustrating. So, no, I don't think that is the real truth. I don't think you're going to know for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting because we're talking about Burrow and the track he's been on. So you're dealing with a shoulder, but they're still both upper body, but shoulder just has to deal with so much. That was the nice thing about Burrow when he talked the other week, talking about how, because it's the wrist, it's tricky to figure out, and I'm still working my way back to throwing. But all the other training that I like to do was basically able to do. Now, neither of them had to do like the underwater treadmill just to get back to moving and running at full strength. They're both upper body injuries, but shoulder just seems a little bit more precarious for him, and it just seems like something that's going to be sore throughout. So, I'm not a doctor. Is he going to be 100%? It's possible, but I'd probably lean more with the GM of the Browns here and Mr. Bo Bishop and say that, no, he's not going to be. And then that game of cat and mouse you were describing, what's that going to be like? What are they going to say? What is a day where he sits? What is going to be their explanation for it?
It's going to be brutal. Contentious.
Yeah, he's not going to be ready. I mean, it's shoulder. I mean, it's not shoulder reconstruction, but it's enough to take its time where you don't do anything with that shoulder. And so to get him back into throwing reps, into throwing shape, this whole thing's going to take time. I'm more concerned, honestly, about what's between his ears than I am with that throwing shoulder.
I think they could be linked a little.
Yeah.
But I think that's the right. What was the name of the Ravens quarterback who made the Pro Bowl?
Huntley?
Yeah, Huntley. He's there too. So just remember this. And some of this could be. They have currently Deshaun Watson, Jameis Winston, Dorian Thompson-Robinson, and Tyler Huntley all on that roster at quarterback. And I think you can probably read into that. That's a lot of guys who have they got 3 guys who played a lot of football in the league in their room. So might be something there.
Yeah, that they're gearing up to make sure those guys are ready. T. Higgins will play this season for Cincinnati without interruption. Is that the real truth?
Yeah, I think it is the real truth. The reason this is in the news is because he is not going to report to OTAs. My hunch is he could probably also not do I think it's very possible that he might not also do some of training camp. But here's the deal. T actually needs to play. It's not just a team. Like, he needs to show what he is. He was hurt all of last year. And so or much of last year. And so he needs to put a big year on the docket so that he can go get the money. He's got to prove he's a 1. He's got a lot of good stuff in the bag, but he's got to prove he's a 1 if he wants to get paid like 1. So I think he'll be motivated. I think he'll play well.
Yeah, and there's a few dates here that will change, the way we can look at this, but it just appears that they're not. Like, one, I don't think the Bengals are ready to, because they have to pay Jamar Chase, to go into a long-term deal with him. So I don't think that's going to happen. And that deadline is July 15th. Okay, so we get to that July 15th one. The weird thing is how they report on OTAs, because the O stands for optional.
Optional.
And, everybody it reports this big deal when somebody's there or not. And it's like, that's what they are. And he is actually super optional because he hasn't signed the franchise tag. I forget that every year, that you're not under contract. He's not on a team. He's not technically a free agent, but he's not on a team because he's not under contract anywhere. And that deadline is November 12th. But I agree with you. I don't foresee that. I don't foresee him holding out for that long, because at that point, what are you doing? You're not the deadline for the long-term deal is gone. So I think this is just a little holdout to see, hey, are you guys going to blow me away with something? And also, I don't want to go to OTAs. I'll just work out on my own. Lots of guys like to do that. And so if they present him with an offer he can't refuse, maybe he would sign that. But other than that, I think he's just waiting for that July 15th training camp starts. Then he'll sign his tender, his franchise tag, and he'll join the squad.
This is the real truth. The season itself won't have any interruptions as far as T and even Trey Hendrickson go. There'll be a lot of nonsense before that, but isn't that what this is every single season with several players?
Yeah. Do the last one. We're up against it, but it's funny.
Okay. If I just got out of jail following an early morning arrest, I would still do my original plans for the day, like, say, play a round of golf. Is that the real truth?
So it can't be play around in golf. The perfect, if I got arrested this morning, would I still do this show?
Yes.
No, I would not. I'd be pretty shook.
Could we have you on, though, for a segment?
Do a segment.
No, do your one phone call, too, here.
That's your phone call?
Yeah, from Columbus jail. We go to the jail. Bo's had a sandwich.
We go live too. Oh, he didn't accept the charges. Okay, we don't go live.
And that's, because his tea time is in the 10 o'clock hour, right?
10:08.
So it's not that different than what you would have to do after you get to
very similar.
8:30.
Would you still do your job? Put it on the poll. Let's put that on the poll. If you were arrested for, what amounts to I think everyone is kind of going to acknowledge a misunderstanding, and you were would you still do your job for the day?
Just call up your boss and be like, hey, I'm going to be a little late. I'm being booked right now, but then I'll be there.
I don't even know how we would put it on the poll, because it would have to almost be like if you owned the company and it was IPO day.
Because it has to be a big day.
Big day for it. It'd be like a football Friday for us. If I was arrested in the morning, would I still do the show on Michigan Football Friday?
The day of the big merger. That's what they always put in movies. The day of the big merger, you get arrested. Do you still go to the board meeting?
That's the way that
How's this?
Goes.
If you were arrested in the morning, would you show up to work if bailed out before your scheduled workday start?
No, it's going to be the answer to that 99%. It's amazing. On a big day at work. Yeah, that's on one of the biggest days at work. That's the option there. Crazy. NBA and NHL finals are set. We'll take a look at them coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The only radio station still operating with an active booze cart. I'm drunk right now. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Hey folks, Austin Ward here, and if that sizzling sound made your mouth water, you are in the right place. Let's talk about something sizzling. That's making a Bacon 180 with a Waken 180. Imagine dropping pounds while still enjoying that crispy, savory goodness. It's one of the 50 reasons I chose Awaken 180. 50 pounds in only 3 months, and I did it while still enjoying a ton of my favorite foods. The difference? I had my coach showing me how to enjoy them the right way. A full Bacon 180. But hey, maybe you're not a bacon fan. I personally can't relate, but No bacon? No problem. Awaken 180 caters to any diet or taste profile. Vegetarian, vegan, omnivore, even flexitarian. Yes, that's a thing, and you're covered too. The point, if you want to lose weight, lose it fast, and then keep it off, then make your own Bacon 180 with Awaken 180 online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Safe Auto Insurance is now Direct Auto Insurance. What's the difference? Basically, the name. Direct Auto offers savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, just like you're used to, which means you never have to make trade-offs when it comes to paying for car insurance. So don't even think about carpooling to work with Talkative Ted. It's time to stop compromising and keep driving with Direct Auto. Get a free quote at directauto.com or call 1-877-GO-DIRECT. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
Right now during Ram season, well-qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2024 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4 for $479 a month for 42 months with $4,279 due at signing. Tax, title, license extra. No security deposit required. Call 1-877-RAM-5722 for details. Requires dealer contribution and lease through Stellantis Financial. Extra charge for miles over 35,000. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 6/3/2024.
Hi, here are some ways to listen to The Fan. You can download the Fan app or listen at home on your smart speaker or open up the iHeartRadio app or hold your head out the window and hear Common Man scream. Happy listening from the Dopes at The Fan.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank, N.A. member FDIC.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for over 30,000 mouth-watering choices with savings beyond low prices. For everyone, fuel restrictions apply.
Check out this great deal on select beverages. Body Armor Super Drink, Powerade, or Arizona Tea are on sale for only 77 cents each with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy real estate as is fast for cash. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family. I even buy my tenants won't pay me the rent houses. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Flexible, secure, fun. Oh, and great pay, too. Are you not sure what you want to do for a career? Or are you thinking of changing careers? Being a dental hygienist or dental assistant may be the perfect fit for you and provides all of these perks, plus more. Talk with a dentist in your community or visit ODA.org to learn more. Become a valuable member of the dental team and start helping people love their smile. This message is brought to you by the members of the Ohio Dental Association.
Is your IRS tax debt making you feel anxious? The professionals at Allies Tax Relief are ready to negotiate your fresh start. Call them now, 800-230-5174.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Look for a blend of sun and clouds with temperatures climbing to the upper end of the 80s. As we go towards the night, look for partly cloudy skies, low 65. And then on your Wednesday, we are tracking the risk of strong thunderstorms. Hail and damaging winds appear to be the highest risk on Wednesday night. I'm Doppler 10 meteorologist Dylan Robichaud on 97.1 The Fan.
Tipico Sportsbook is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Bishop & Friends. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
The best hair on the air. You're listening to Bishop & Friends.
And the playoff action is certainly here. Is it a more rewarding sportsbook in the game than Tipico? Get ready to bet on the biggest games of the year, the playoff hoops, the hockey. It's every night. If you want to make the most of every game, you've got to bet with Tipico. You'll get up to 5% cash back on your bets. Enjoy the highest cash back in the industry with the most rewarding sportsbook. Claim the new sign-up bonus now and get $150 in protected bets when you deposit $100. Sign up now and enter the promo code TheFan150 $250 to get your bonus. Download the Tipco Sportsbook app today. Must be 21 or older and physically located in Ohio. Terms and conditions do apply. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER for more on that. Am seeing some rating stuff from over the weekend. I was curious how this would all kind of play out. The Timberwolves Nuggets Game 7 was the most watched sporting event of the weekend. 8.4 million was the numbers on that. That's a pretty good number for them. That's on TNT on Sunday night. So if you're curious, the NBA game in the afternoon on ABC was Knicks Pacers. That was 6.4 million. The other thing that is we were kind of curious floating on about is if there would start to be a wane in the Caitlin Clark interest. Yeah, a little bit. So the preseason game last week did 2.17 on Tuesday. The game over the weekend on Saturday averaged 1.7. So still really good. Better than UFL, better than most of the hockey for sure, but still starting to go down a little bit. And they are like, what are they, like 0-4?
They're 0-4. Even, last two number one picks, Kelsey Mitchell's on that squad. They just are not a very good team, and she's obviously experiencing the growing pains there. I did end up watching the fourth quarter yesterday because I was trying to find the hockey game. Where's that on? When is it on? And I flipped over to ESPN, and I was like, oh, Fever's on. Sure, I'll check it out. And so they've played two teams that are undefeated so far. They've played the New York Liberty twice and the Connecticut Sun twice, and they're both pretty good teams. But they were right in it at the end of that one.
Do you think they're
yesterday.
doing that to avoid like having to pay for the chartered flights?
No, because they've been home and aways.
Oh, they go home and away.
Yeah, so they've played both of them on the road and both of them at home. So it's still the flights in there. And maybe it just works better with their schedules to get it out of there. I find when you're talking about like the waning interest, I didn't know this game was on. I'm not searching it every day. And so it was on before the basketball or the hockey game. So it must have been 7 o'clock start. So that's normal, but I don't remember seeing much about it. Whereas when, she was making a run through the tournament, it was all over your Twitter timeline and everything. That's the hard part is when it's not appointment viewing, you don't know when the appointment is.
And it's not going to be. It won't be to that level, but you're not going to do what the NCAA tournament, the one and doneness of it, allows for storylines to build over the course of a month. We see the same thing how the NCAA basketball tournament outrates the NBA consistently on the men's side. Like this happens all the time because you have a build up to something. It's a one and done nature of it. The final round coverage of the PGA was up 10%. The average on that was just under 5 million. It peaked with 8.4 million though, as Xander Schauffele. The final hour was 7.7 million. Most streamed PGA championship ever. There's that part of it too. That's the other thing is like you're streaming on ESPN Plus, you're streaming on Paramount Plus. Like ratings are so tricky nowadays because of all of the ways that we can consume our content. And it's how do you add it all together to get an accurate number? That's the tricky part going forward. But that's the way that it all broke down this weekend was that way. My hunch is that number will continue to dissipate for Clark. And if they struggle, then they're going to.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be a good team. No.
There'll be much more of that. By the way, I'm already seeing stuff like the various sites saying like she's crumbling under the pressure. Like, dude, chill. Like, it's hard. Going from the idea that she was going to come in, if anybody had the notion that she was going to come into the WNBA and like be a 30-point a game person, like they're exponentially better. The rosters are compared to what she was playing in the Big Ten. Like, come on, have a little bit of realism to the way that this thing was going to go. Everybody has an adjustment. LeBron had a big adjustment. Wembanyama had a big adjustment. Anthony Davis had an adjustment. You just don't go Zion. Like you just don't go from being a dude in college to playing on a much bigger level. I do think the one thing that's always going to travel for her is the playmaking ability. Like that thing is always going to travel. And I think she'll settle down there too. I'm not worried at all about it.
Yeah, it's just one of those things where she's going to have those growing pains. But if you actually watch the games, she had 17 points and 5 assists. She came back from an ankle injury. The people are also intentionally trying to really stick on her defensively to make it more difficult. But she's not going out there and looking like she doesn't belong. She belongs on the WNBA court. She's just a rookie.
Yeah. All right, so we're set. NBA, NHL, it's set up pretty good to where you're going to have it every night is the way that this thing is going to go. Starting tonight, game 1 in the East, the 6-seeded Pacers have gotten there. If you want to put the pressure on anybody, it is on this Celtics team. There is no damn good reason how they don't get to the finals. They should get there with relative ease. They are significantly better than Indiana. Indiana can score a ton of points and shoot 67%. But
if they do that in 4 games, Boston's cooked.
They shoot 70%. That might do it. But that starts tonight. And then you have Timberwolves and Mavericks on the other side of things. That starts on Wednesday in Minnesota. In the NHL, that sorted out last night. So it's Panthers and Rangers. Game 1 is Wednesday in New York on that one. That's an 8 o'clock start for that. And then game 1 is Thursday out west, Stars and Oilers. This is what you're rooting for. You run the NBA, you're going Celtics, T-Wolves. That's it. That's pretty good. The T-Wolves have Ant, and when you have him and he's on this ascent, you want to grab it, and you get an iconic franchise in Boston. So you want Timberwolves in Boston if you're the NBA. In the NHL, you want Rangers and Oilers. Your best player on the biggest stage against your – you could argue the Rangers are the most important franchise in the NHL. They're on a short list. Original 6, New York, all of it. Like, that's what you hope. You want Rangers and Oilers. You want Timberwolves and Celtics.
Yeah, I think the hockey one, Panthers and Stars. Like, which one is worse, Pacers, Mavericks, or Panthers Stars?
Panthers Stars, because at least with Mavericks, you got Luka.
There's a good amount, and Kyrie too. Like, there's a good amount of star power on the Mavericks, but I have not really watched them at all this postseason. It's because they started out kind of slow. Luka and Kyrie they've come on a little bit as that series went on, but they were never quite there at the top at the beginning. And I think we just started to notice other teams and thought the Mavericks weren't long for this world. And here they are, still in the Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, Panthers Stars that would be worst case scenario. All chalk, pretty close, by the way, in the NHL. Pretty close to all chalk. If Vancouver would have got through, but Edmonton was right there. Very little upsets there. Far more upsets on the NBA side of things. Historically, those things are inverted. All right, he's back. He's back from vacation. This man will not go in the ocean. He has warned me for years how stupid I was. Chastised me for going into the ocean. Dom was in the Caribbean. Did he go in the ocean? We're going to find out coming up next. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
The Fan is live and local with Morning Juice, Caffeinate, and Dominate.
Weekday mornings from 6 to 9.
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Did you and your family lose Ohio Medicaid and need health coverage? Check this out. You may be eligible to enroll in a low-cost health plan at healthcare.gov. With the new law, 4 out of 5 customers can find a plan for $10 or less per month with financial help. Healthcare.gov offers quality plans that cover doctor visits, prescriptions, emergency care, and more. Healthcare.gov is here for you. Enroll today for coverage starting the 1st of next month. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
This offer is only available at Reichert Ford. 0% financing for 72 months on every 2023 Ford F-150 in stock. Take advantage of Reichert's rate before it's too late. Lock in your 0% rate and take a new truck home today. Thousands of vehicles are waiting at ReichertFord.com.
See dealer for details. N6324.
Exclusively at Reichert Ford. 0% for 72 months is now available on every new 23 F-150 in stock. Hundreds of trucks at ReichertFord.com. We're dealing.
Get the right car at Reichert.
We're dealing.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Common Man and T-Bone here for the Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus.
It's our absolute favorite place to go for that live VIP sportsbook experience. 12,000 square feet of sportsbook action. 2 huge walls of TVs, not to mention delicious food and drink. But your experience can be even better if you download the Penn Play app.
Yep, you can get up to $140 in rewards. It's so easy, dummies like us can do it. Got to download the free Penn Play app today and cash in your bonuses. Plus, you never know, and you'll see Man and I lurking around.
I'm lurking. Must be 21 or over. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Do you subscribe to the Fan's YouTube channel? Well, why not? Catch our best interview, Stupid Man and Bone videos, and live video of our shows as they happen.
You can participate in your neighborhood watch.
Search 971 The Fan and subscribe today.
Ready to be the change and have a positive impact on your community? Consider joining the Columbus Division of Police. Starting pay is $70,000 plus, growing to 6 figures after 4 years of service. We offer paid vacations, paid holidays, and health insurance. Do you aspire to complete your degree? We offer 100% tuition reimbursement after you complete your first year of service. Contact the CPD recruiting unit at jobs@columbuspolice.org or apply online at columbus.gov/government/jobs. The City of Columbus is an equal opportunity employer.
Legend has it, underneath the NJM insurance offices lies a mysterious room of long-forgotten, moldy mascot memorabilia, often pitched by ad agencies, always rejected by NJM. Is it real? We may never know. But what is real is NJM's dedication to doing what's right for their customers. Astoundingly, they're proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance. Learn more at njm.com.
Boating season is finally here, and Buckeye Lake Marina is your go-to destination for all your on-the-water needs. With the largest inventory in Central Ohio, you can choose from top brands like Bennington, South Bay, Crown Line, and more. Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. Pontoon boats, luxury tri-toon boats, even merch. Open 7 days a week to serve you better. Find your next dream boat at Buckeye Lake Marina. Visit BuckeyeLakeMarina.com today for all your on-the-water needs. The good life, the lake life, starts at Buckeye Lake Marina.
Right now during Jeep 4x4 season, well-qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2024 Jeep Compass Limited 4x4 for $379 a month for 42 months with $3,837 due at signing. Tax, title, license extra. No security deposit required. Call 1-888-925-JEEP for details. Requires dealer contribution and lease through Stellantis Financial Services. Extra charge for miles over 35,000. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 6/3/2024. Jeep is a registered trademark.
Bishop and Friends is sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 Weight Loss.
Bishop and Friends present Tuesdays with Tiberi.
Sponsored by Sears Heating and Cooling. Family owned since 1950.
Known this gentleman a long time. One of his constant warnings to me was to not get into bodies of water that were not pools. You were in the Caribbean. That means that you're in the middle of a large body of water. Did you heed your own advice?
Sir, I sent you the video, and I plead ignorance because my son Dominic, we're there. Yeah. I've never been to Aruba, and he's telling me everything. Oh, Dad, this place is great. He's been there like 5 times. He's taken me around. I'm like a tourist. He goes, and you see that thing out there in the ocean? And I took pictures of it. I'll send it to you. Yeah. It's like this big thing with buoys on it. He goes, well, that's the shark net. They don't play around down here. You can get in the ocean. They got a shark net. So I sent you the video. I'm walking out there talking to this nice lady from – and by the way, everyone that goes to Aruba is from the East Coast. Yeah. There was New York, New Jersey, Boston, New Hampshire, and Maine. That was it. I never met anyone from Ohio. I had no idea what Buckeyes were or all that. So I'm walking out talking to that nice lady. Said, yeah, I don't get in the ocean, but I'm getting in. My son, first of all, almost went down because it's like a drop. And I get in, and she's like looking at me like I'm crazy. And she goes, hey, who told you that? I said, my son. He's videoed me. And she goes, oh, honey, there's no net. That's to keep the boats from coming in here. Duped. Then I'm standing there.
So Damo duped you. He duped you.
Well, then my son comes out laughing, and he's got bread in his hand. And I go, what are you doing? Well, watch this, Dad. I'm going to feed the fish.
Oh, my God.
And he starts, and they're like, I said, you're bringing them in here. I said, what are you doing? I said, do you understand they're going to get bigger? The bigger fish are going to come eat the little fish. It's going to, and next thing you know, here comes Mr. Jaws. Oh, Dad, you don't understand. Get me out of here.
How long did you get into, like, neck deep, or how deep did you get?
Well, no, I didn't go. No, I went to you saw that.
That's it. So that was the extent of it. Is what you sent me. That's it.
Yeah. I stood there and he's feeding the fish with bread, and I said, "That's it. This is ignorant. This is what happens. You're going to put food in." I said, "Here, why don't we really have some fun? Here, open a vein. Let's put some blood in the water. What are you doing?"
Open a vein. This is the first time you've gotten away in a while, and we've talked about the lot that you and the family have been through. Did you enjoy yourself? What were some of the highlights?
I will tell you this, and I know you like Aruba. I will definitely be going back.
Yeah.
It is paradise.
Yeah.
It was like 88 degrees every day. Very little humidity, if any. It's a desert island, as you know.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
And you got the trade winds. It was amazing. The only thing that I was a little squirrely about, they got these daggum iguanas everywhere. I mean, they're everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
We need a predator. They need a predator. Then that'll solve that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You need a predator. Probably a raptor, right? Some sort of a bird predator when they take out iguanas. Feel like that would be it. You need some sea eagles or something down there.
Why don't we release some kimono dragons? That'd be great, huh? What are you talking about?
I don't think we need that.
Predators.
Well, anytime you have something run amok, you got to get some predators. That solves it.
And then they have they have the area where there's just a bunch of donkeys.
Yeah, the Caribbean's got weird. There's a lot of those islands that got I think the Bahamas just have the pigs. Like you just have pigs in the ocean. People brought these things and they just have hung around. I don't understand it in any way. They got chickens everywhere. See, there you go. That I don't like. I don't need that. Let me ask you this.
Well, you don't like chicken? I like.
No, I don't like birds. I don't like birds at all.
Well, I know
you remember
don't
the
like
geese. All the stuff we had to deal with all them.
Oh yeah, we would run them off, and we got in trouble.
We got in trouble for running the geese off. Yeah, they didn't like it.
Yeah, great.
Oh, I did. I gently threw some snowballs. Dirty. Like, come on, they're rats with wings.
Well,
was there a meal?
They're very dirty. The birds.
They are.
The geese. I mean, they just everywhere you go, they make a mess. I mean, I've never seen anything. I mean, I don't know. They constantly eat because they're always doing the other thing.
That's right.
Everywhere.
They just goes in one out the other. Let me ask you this: was there a meal that stands out? Because one thing I like to do on a vacation is I like to sample some of the local wares, the local foods. Was there a meal you had that went, boy, that's it right there?
What blew my mind is how many Italian restaurants there are down there. And we did go to a place called Gianni's.
Yeah.
And it was very high end. And they did a thing where they hollow out the Parmesan wheel.
Yeah.
Put alcohol in it, scrape it, put alcohol in it, set it on fire.
Okay.
Let the cheese melt, and then they throw the pasta in there. And they had these nice ladies were making the pasta right there. It was outstanding.
So hold on a second, just so I understand.
We went to 5 Italian restaurants.
Just so I understand. You went to Aruba and ate Italian?
Yeah, about 5 of them, 5 different places. It was really good.
I want to try this place's chicken parm. Let's see how this goes. You don't have no fish, no seafood. You like fish. You cooked cobia for me once. I love cobia. You didn't have any fish.
We ate some fish, but it's I had some calamari and I had some shrimps and I had some. I ate some redfish. Yeah, okay. But I mean. The Italian restaurants are everywhere. It's very, very nice. They had some nice cannolis.
Did you give anybody a case of each?
I didn't. I didn't realize that they had that many Italian places. And I'm talking. Last night that we were there, the bride and I, we ate on the 3rd floor of this place overlooking the ocean.
Gorgeous.
And it was called Terrazzo. And I'll tell you, the chicken parm was outstanding. It was outstanding.
It's outstanding chicken parm. What is the official drink? Well, if you were to enjoy a spirit, was there a spirit that was prominent down there?
Well, there was a guy, and he kept calling me Poppy when I would come to the bar. He'd scream at the pool bar.
Yeah.
It was great. And he was just always, Poppy, hey, Poppy. What are you? And I told him I wasn't much of a drinker, but he would make these margaritas for me, and he would make them like a slushie.
Yeah.
Frozen.
Yeah.
Like a slushie.
Yeah, I'm aware.
They're good, and I don't really drink them, but I had, they had this one thing. I didn't like it. It was all these berries and 16 different kind of rum and whatever. I said, "What is this?"
You don't need that.
Thank you, though.
Yeah, you don't need that.
No.
That's not a win.
But the margarita was good, and I got in the pool.
Well, of course. No worry about sharks there.
It was amazing. That's one of the first times in public that I did not have a shirt on.
Let me tell you, you sent me some images. You look stunning. So I was talking to Timmy Hall. I was talking to Timmy Hall. He played Muirfield with you on the media day, or he was out there when you were doing the media day. AR was out there, and I saw you warming up. You look great, Sil. You look spectacular. I mean, I'm so proud of you. You look awesome.
Well, I think maybe you need to go to the eye doctor.
No, I don't. I don't need to go to the eye doctor. I saw you with my own eyes. You're out there strutting around like you're Furio.
I did play well at Muirfield. I did. I played pretty well, and Furio was great. I love Furio. He was the best.
Yeah, that's very.
Don't cross him.
I never bought the idea that he would make a pass at the big man's wife. I never bought that. I thought that was a big flaw in the writing.
Well, he was going for it.
I know, but he's a soldier. Like a soldier doesn't make a pass at the big man's wife.
It was a bad move. It was not smart.
No, I wouldn't think. But we don't ever know what happened to him, if you remember. Like he was gone. He fled. Yeah. We never saw a resolution to the Furio. I just don't buy that guy would ever cross the boss.
I think Tony was starting to get wind. I think he knew Tony was starting to sniff.
Because Carmella told him, Dom. Don't you remember?
Well, yeah, but he was.
That's why you don't do it.
A good thing. He had to leave. It was not going to be good.
Yeah, the start of him coming over was great, though. That was good stuff. Well, I'm glad you're back.
Yeah,
I'm glad you got in the ocean.
It was great. Sorry, I missed your call. Actually, that day that you called, I was at the beach and I was in the ocean.
Gosh.
And then I'm going.
Could have had a live report. That's all right.
Yeah, right there from there. I got that international service for 10 days. That was
nice.
It was nice. It was kind of weird, but it was nice.
I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. I'm glad you got away. Much deserved. It's great talking to you. And thanks for your time, brother, as always.
See you, brother. Bye.
All right. There it is. Little Tuesdays with Tiberi on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. We hit Thing or Not a Thing up next. Bishop and Friends right here on the Fan.
Winners of the prestigious Platinum Microphone Award every year, given to the best radio station in the world. No need to look it up. It's real. The Fan.
You know that thing you've always been too scared to go for? It seems like you'll never have the guts. Then a cancer diagnosis. And doing that thing becomes way less scary. I would know. I've always wanted a black belt. And today, the only thing standing in my way is a few wooden boards. It's been a lot of hard work and 5 years since I beat cancer at Ohio Health. Bring it on. You keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keep making plans to learn more.
DraftKings Sports and Social is now open in Columbus Short North. Get ready for the ultimate experience where sports and the party collide into an atmosphere unlike any other. Visit sportsandsocial.com/Columbus and follow us on social for details. DraftKings Sports and Social. Drink, eat, be social.
Are you confident letting just anyone on the roof of your home? I'm Craig Schottenstein, owner of Schottenstein Roofing. Our team is dedicated to delivering outstanding value on every roof we repair or replace. Schottenstein Roofing. Go to schottensteinroofing.com.
Summer is almost here, and NBC4 Today is giving you a chance to swim in cash. Get ready for summer. Check out NBC4 Today every morning, and you could win $400. Watch to win all this week on NBC4 Today at 6 a.m.
Tuesday, someone's life will change forever.
A new winner will be crowned on the season finale of The Voice.
Which coach is going to get their crown as champion?
Reba McEntire, Chance the Rapper, Dan and Shay, or John Legend.
I'm going to let you in on a little secret.
What?
You will see special performances from Keith Urban, Kate Hudson, the Black Keys, and Thomas Rhett.
The season finale of The Voice.
Live Tuesday on NBC.
Tonight beginning at 8 on NBC4. Local for you. Summer is almost here, and NBC4 Today is giving you a chance to swim in cash. Get ready for summer. Check out NBC4 Today every morning, and you could win $400. Watch to win all this week on NBC4 Today at 6 a.m.
The Fan app is about to become your new best friend. Your one-stop shop for all your favorite fan shows. ESPN Columbus and BetQL. Live or on demand, listen on your schedule. Download the 97.1 The Fan app today. It's free. Do it.
Instant classics are exciting, but true legends have impact over time. Like how Plant Moran has been counted on by companies and clients for the past 100 years. Counted on for advice by the workwear brand you zip up every day. Counted on for guidance by the zoos and aquariums inspiring the next generation. Counted on for a holistic approach by those growing, protecting, and sharing their wealth. From accounting to tax, consulting to wealth management, we're built year after year on the stories and success we help others achieve. Here's to the next 100 years of Plant Moran. Count on us.
Safe Auto Insurance is now Direct Auto Insurance. What's the difference? Basically, the name. Direct Auto offers savings of up to 25% on state minimum coverage, just like you're used to, which means you never have to make trade-offs when it comes to paying for car insurance. So don't even think about carpooling to work with Talkative Ted. It's time to stop compromising and keep driving with Direct Auto. Get a free quote at directauto.com or call 1-877-GO-DIRECT. Savings vary, terms apply. National General Group, Winston-Salem.
1-877 Cars for Kids. K-A-R-S, Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Accurate Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Bo knows many people. He talks to the interesting ones on this show. This is Bishop and Friends.
All right, time for a little thing or not a thing. Hit it, fellas.
Thing or not a thing.
Sponsored by Apex Plumbing Pros.
Shams Charania was on FanDuel TV, yeah, that's a thing, talking about how much LeBron is involved in the Lakers coaching search. Here's what he had to say.
I'm told LeBron James is not involved in the Lakers head coaching search. I've reported on it last week. JJ Redick, James Borrego, Sam Cassell, the lead initial targets. But LeBron James made it clear this is the organization's decision. He's had no conversations with the Lakers about JJ Redick, his podcast partner. He's had no conversation with JJ about that position as well. I did speak to Rich Paul this morning. He said,
"Where's that dog meme?"
He said LeBron James and JJ Redick, they do a podcast together. That does not mean that he wants JJ Redick as his head coach. But he's leaving it up to the organization. We'll see what LeBron James decides for his future. Obviously, I'm told he's expected to play up to 2 more NBA seasons. The bottom line with LeBron James is this. If he was making the decisions for the Lakers, Ty Lue would have been the head coach in 2019. Kyrie Irving would be his point guard if he was running the team, if he was making the decisions.
Shams also went on to say that the Lakers are more likely to focus on the needs of Anthony Davis going forward, as he likely has more seasons left than LeBron. Thing or not a thing?
Well, it's all nonsense. I mean, it's just nonsense.
It's LeBron's crew giving him things to say.
Quite literally laughing out loud at the notion that LeBron James has not talked to the Lakers about what they're going to do as a coach. I also like the revisionist history at the end where he talks about Ty Lue would have been the coach in 2019. By the way, they won it in 20 with Vogel. And that Kyrie Irving would be his point guard. Like now you can say that, but 2 years ago, would you have said that was something that you'd be bragging about? So Shams, you can't be critical of Shams and Woj and those guys. Like they're in the information business, so they have to get their information from somewhere. And so you take care of your sources. This happens all the time in reporting, and I think that's what this is here.
Yeah, it's a good job of using, and this is not a thing, but it's a very good job of using one of, if not the most respected name in NBA news breaking to ferry your message across to the masses.
Yeah.
It's how you get to say, oh, no, LeBron's totally hands off, which, again, that's not the real truth. That's never been the real truth. So good job by Rich Paul and Clutch. That just kind of goes to show that they are everywhere and can frame whichever message to suit their needs.
Because as long as the real truth is somebody told me this, then you can report it.
He's protected, and everybody in the Lakers organization looks good. Or I guess looks okay. It doesn't fall on anybody for any of this reporting. Sunday night, after the Timberwolves beat the Nuggets in Game 7 of the Western Conference semifinals, Anthony Edwards and Charles Barkley had this exchange on TNT.
I have not been to Minnesota in probably 20 years.
Bring gas.
Hey,
bring gas.
Can you send me a list of good restaurants? We're going to be there for like 5 days. I want you to send me a list of some good restaurants, okay?
Yeah. I'm going to find your number through somebody. I'm going to send them to you.
Front Office Sports found that if you enter bringyass.com into your browser's URL, it redirects you to Explore Minnesota, the state's tourism website. Thing or not a thing?
This is great. This is fantastic. First of all, it was great when Ant did that. I said yesterday on the show, I love everything about him except the only thing I'm not crazy about is it's a lot of profanity in the press conferences and the availabilities. But other than that,
it's like The Rock at WrestleMania.
Yeah, there's a lot of beeps with him. But other than that, I'm for it. He's got a great sense of humor. I love that Minnesota has a great sense of humor about this, too, to the fact that they've taken that and made that the website. They were so quick and nimble to be able to get that done that it's Explore Minnesota. I've also got news for you. Like, Minnesota in the summer is pretty great. I don't know if you guys have ever been there.
I've been up there, yeah.
Had a buddy of mine.
I'll have to bring my ass sometime.
Yeah, it's a good town. It's a lot of fun. The lakes are awesome. It's an incredibly easy, navigable downtown, very, very walkable, and it's awesome. It really is. I want to see my favorite restaurant there used to be Butcher and the Boar, but I thought that they went under. No, they're back. They went under during COVID, but now they're back.
There you go.
Yeah, they're back in the business. Butcher and the Boar in Minneapolis. They got it. Yeah, this is one of my favorite restaurants in America. Love this joint.
So this is digital, so it might be easier. But which do you think was a tougher to turn around this quickly? The bring ass going to the Explore Minnesota website, or the guys who already had the Scotty Scheffler mugshot T-shirts on the golf course after he got arrested?
It's a race for both of them, right?
Yes.
It's a race to image, print, sell on that, or paying attention as Ant says that. I guess to me, it would seem like it would be harder to get the domain.
You'd think so, right?
That's my hunch. I would guess the domain would be harder just in terms of the process. These guys now with these shirt companies on an image, they're probably ready to go. I feel like you can get a shirt done in 2 minutes.
Plus, I've seen what some of the internet has to offer. I'm surprised bringass.com wasn't already a website of a different nature.
Facts.
The Texas Longhorns official Twitter shared a graphic yesterday with this tweet: "Going out in style." A little trophy emoji, a little horns up emoji, hashtag hook 'em. The accompanying graphic states that Texas teams won 15 Big 12 championships in their final season as a member of the conference. Second was Oklahoma, tied with Oklahoma State with 4, 2 each for Iowa State and Texas Tech, and 1 apiece for Houston and BYU. So that's 1, 2 plus 4 is 6 plus 8 is 14, right? So
yeah,
they won more than the rest of the conference. Thing or not a thing?
Yeah, I mean, this is why that's why what are we calling them? What did I say? The 2 and 2s?
Right.
They're joining one of the 2s. So that's why these things are not created equal. It's actually kind of remarkable that the Big 12 Yormark was able to get a deal done with his operation at the number that he was able to get it at. Because it really is, and this is going to, there's no other way for me to, it's just a poo-poo platter of teams.
It
that don't really make sense.
Conference USA or something, yeah.
It's all second fiddle, other than Kansas basketball. There wouldn't be anything else in that conference. I suppose Baylor basketball a little bit. I mean, they've won a national title, so they'd have to be. Like, there's some things here and there that are among the best in the country, but by and large, it's just a second-rate league. And he secured a pretty good bag for a second-rate league.
And I'll still maintain that, like, the first thing, I guess, big thing that said to me, like, Texas is not long for this place was the Longhorn Network. And just how
there's the workaround.
How they said, no, we're going to go with ESPN by ourselves.
Yeah.
Sure, we'll throw you a couple things here and there, but everything Texas is going to be on this one network. It was a spectacular failure, but this is a spectacular way to exit, and a nice little message just sent at the conference. If you're going to say, point to one person or one entity that killed the Big that killed the Big 12 or took the Big 12 and put it down a peg in terms of national relevance, it's Texas.
Texas it's bigger than that even, Reese. Texas was the catalyst for expansion.
The whole thing.
All of it.
Because they're called, when they said Oklahoma called the Big Ten?
Oh, yeah. Fact. When Texas said, we're up for bid more than a decade ago, and then they kind of restructured, because that's what led to A&M going to the SEC. That's what led to Colorado. All of the bouncing that happened, it was all Texas that was the catalyst for all of that. And now all these years later, they're in the Southeastern Conference. By the way, the video, McConaughey did the voiceover for the launch of the Longhorn Network. It's spectacular.
The administrator of culture for the Longhorns?
Yes, he did the voiceover for the Longhorn Network a bunch of years ago. I'm going to try and find it on YouTube, see if I can find it. Nebraska going to throw a little bit of money at their football program, which got us thinking. If you were to throw money at the three most important things on Ohio State's athletic campus, which one would you throw the money at, and how would you distribute it? We'll get to that coming up next. Bishop and Friends, right here on The Fan.
Here's a listener tweet. Can I tase Common Man in the nuts? Fine by us, but he may like it. Common Man and Tebow.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
The Fan.
Men, this is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And you've heard me talk a lot about how treating low testosterone can improve your sleep, your workouts, your energy levels, and more. But today I want to talk to you about your sex drive, because low testosterone can have a significant impact on your desire for intimacy. It can even be a factor in erectile dysfunction. And if you're in a relationship or wanting to be in a relationship, a low sex drive could really be a problem. The good news is that if you're like most guys, treating your low testosterone could really change the way you feel about sex, giving you back the flame and desire that is so important when you love someone. So if you're feeling sluggish and tired, if you're not sleeping well, if your workouts aren't that great, and most of all, if your sex drive is more like a putt, make an appointment at Tri-State Men's Health and have your testosterone levels checked. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices across the tri-state area to serve you.
Right now during Jeep 4x4 season, well-qualified lessees get a low-mileage lease on the 2024 Jeep Compass Limited 4x4 for $379 a month for 42 months with $3,837 due at signing. Tax, title, license extra. No security deposit required. Call 1-888-925-JEEP for details. Requires dealer contribution and lease through Stellantis Financial Services. Extra charge for miles over 35,000. Not all customers will qualify. Residency restrictions apply. Take delivery by 6/3/2024. Jeep is a registered trademark.
Hollywood Lights. Set sail with excitement at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Saturday, May 25th, you could be the lucky winner of a 7-day, all-expenses-paid Caribbean cruise for 2. Not a sailor? No problem. Opt for $15,000 in cold hard cash instead. Play your favorite slots and table games throughout May to earn entries. More details at HollywoodColumbus.com. Remember, your adventure awaits at Hollywood Casino Columbus. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-589-9966.
2 guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same 2 guys drove home. One guy wore his seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Robert Half research indicates 9 out of 10 hiring managers are having difficulty hiring. If you have open roles, chances are you're feeling this too. That's why you need Robert Half. Our specialized recruiting professionals engage with our proprietary AI to connect businesses of all sizes with highly skilled talent in finance and accounting, technology, marketing and creative, legal, and administrative and customer support. At Robert Half, we know talent. Visit roberthalf.com today.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good morning. I'm Eric Reese. There is some big college football news out of the SEC. Multiple outlets are reporting Georgia quarterback Jaden Rashada has filed a lawsuit against Florida's Billy Napier and 3 UF boosters over false and fraudulent NIL promises. The suit alleges Napier called Rashada's dad on signing day in 2022 and said a booster would wire him $1 million if he signed with Florida. Rashada did, then decommitted from the Gators and signed at Arizona State. He then transferred to Georgia this past offseason. In college hoops, Ohio State will begin next season on Monday, November 4th in Las Vegas. Buckeyes will battle Texas in the Naismith Hall of Fame series at T-Mobile Arena. And Ohio State has given women's hockey coach Nadine Muzzerall a 5-year contract extension. Muzzerall's won 2 national championships and made the Frozen Four in 4 straight seasons. This update is sponsored by Dr. Mark Levy. If you're snoring and not sleeping, give Dr. Mark Levy a call at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP or visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com.
First Friday miracles are always better with Uncle Bo. This is Bishop and Friends.
Our final hour here on a Tuesday edition of the program. Saw this story yesterday. There's a lot that happens down in Lincoln at Nebraska, and Trev Alberts was there, legendary Nebraska football player, had a very nice television career before he derailed that himself, kind of sabotaged it himself. You guys remember this? He walked off. He used to do the college football final, and he walked off and boycotted because they wouldn't let him go live, his team go live. It was him, Mark May, and Reese.
Was it live or location?
No, they would not let him go live on location.
Yeah.
Yeah. They used to do like the college football final show. It was him and Mark and Reese. And he probably did have a good point. Like, that show had its own ecosystem for a while. Like, it definitely felt like it had its own kind of juice to it. And it continued, honestly, with Holtz, because it was Holtz and May down the line that would follow. But it had something to do with like an SEC championship game or something like that. And he wanted to be able to take their show on the road like Game Day did. And ESPN said, yeah, we're good. And then he just quit, like in the middle of it. Just quit. And then he got into administration, went to Nebraska Omaha first as an athletic director, and then was the athletic director in Lincoln. And then guess what? He was pretty decent at it, at least in the eyes of some. And now he's the athletic director at A&M. So he leaves the alma mater. And in the way, this is what he left in the lurch. There was a proposed massive renovation of Memorial Stadium in Lincoln. It's been downsized for the time being, meaning the south end of the stadium won't be torn down after the 2024 season as originally planned. It's a $450 million project to update the 100-year-old stadium. The first phase would have temporarily removed 25,000 seats for the 2025 season. They're like 75,000, so that's a monster knockout to do that. While the new South End section was going to be built, we're all aligned. The new athletic director says about how this is going to go. A comprehensive funding plan has not been announced, though Albert said he expected private dollars to be used for the substantial portion of the project. There's a lot to this, and here's how it affects us. Number one, that last line is pretty interesting. The private dollars would be used to support the project. I mean, just think how much money donors have to donate to do collectives and to still put names on buildings. Like, it's all coming from the same pot over and over again. So the idea that there's still money out there to name buildings tells you how much money these people have that they're able to do this, fund collectives, and do this stuff. The thing that got me thinking about this, though, is we are at a point, I don't know how much of it's, well, one part of this is absolutely pressing. Gene Smith is stepping down as athletic director entirely by the time you get to this summer. Ross Bjork has already been hired. As an athletic director, it's two things. Hire football and men's basketball coaches, build buildings. Gene Smith has built all the buildings he can build. What he has not been able to do, and a lot of it had to do with timing, is you have these three structures that probably need some money thrown at them. One of them has already had a great deal of money thrown at them. That was the Shot. They've built about all that they can do with that building to make it cool. They've thrown a ton of money into it with the practice facilities, and all that stuff is nice. Bringing the two programs in there and all of the things that they've done.
They redid the concourses. Yeah, it's better than it was,
on
but
a pig.
It's still not great. Yeah,
no, it's not. It was built poorly initially, and Andy Geiger oversaw that, and that was his baby, and it was a rush to beat Nationwide with their arena. And the reality is, Nationwide's just a significantly better arena. It's not particularly close. So you can paint concourses all you want. It is what it is. When it's full, it's pretty cool, but it's just not full very often. So it is what it is. I don't know really what you can do more to the Shot. You'd almost have to just push the chips in and say, all right, let's do something else separate from this. The second one is the most complicated, and that's the Horseshoe. So I think we all acknowledge that one thing that is a bit of a bummer, man, about the Shoe is that the stadium isn't connected. That if you're in one section, you can't walk to the other. That sucks. It sucks that you can't walk from the where the students sit and walk around the stadium. That's brutal. How do you fix that retroactively? How do you connect the two? How do you, as if you're Ross Bjork and you have a historical structure that's 100 plus years old, how do you modernize it to the best possible way? I've spitballed on this show at times, like, do you at some point eliminate all of B-Deck and just make it all suites or, party lounges or carnival seating, whatever? Parts of it are different things, but do you get to a point where you just get rid of B-Deck entirely and make it specialized seating? Is that something that you do? I don't know. I know that one thing that we've seen, and this type of schedule that we have this year is not going to make it any better, is a ton of empty seats. I don't know that you need 105,000 for eight games a year. You need it probably for the Michigan game, Penn State, USC, Oregon. That's about it. Everything else, you really don't need that. So the Shoe's the most complicated. It's probably the one that needs it most, but it is the most complicated. I say needs it most because I don't coach the football program. My guess is if you were to ask Ryan Day, and Gene said this directly, the thing that needs to be done first is the Woody. That's really the thing that they got to get done first. You talk to Ryan Day, you talk to Gene. Gene said this. I mean, I think he used the lipstick on the pig line to describe the Woody. Like, they've thrown all the money they can at it to make it as good as it can be. But it's not on the level of the elite programs in the country. So what's the pecking order? What should be addressed first? What needs to be addressed first? What can't be addressed at all? Those are the decisions that got to be made down there. Look, the Woody affects the football program and the football team. It hasn't stopped them at this point in recruiting. So selfishly, we can wait on that.
That's why when you said what needs it, there's a difference between want and need on right. These. The Shoe, I think, needs it more because it's more important that is successful too. Like, the Shot, they want it to be successful. They want the basketball arena, whatever it could be, to be successful. But it's just not the number one priority of an athletic department here at Ohio State. Making sure that the Shoe is, one, not only well-attended, but also a popular thing amongst your fans, I think is the most important thing. And the Woody, I think it just falls into more of a want because in the world of NIL and revenue sharing coming, do kids really care if there's a waterfall or not?
Whoa. If Alabama's got a waterfall, you best have that waterfall. Right? If Oregon's got a barbershop, you best have a barbershop. I think you all know what I'm going to say with this.
Yes.
Because the asks for the Horseshoe have increased as we have gone further and further away from the dark days of 2020. You've got big-ass country concert, likely another concert they'd like to do, international soccer or football, for those ill-informed, coming to Columbus this summer. If you want to do more things, you've got to update your building to keep it within what would be considered now a modern stadium. That facility at Ohio Stadium, not modern in any sense of the word. Not even the Wi-Fi.
And the problem with the Shoe, too, because we talked about this a lot, but they can't really let it go the way of the Astrodome or even, for a local example, St. John, because where are you going to build another football stadium? You can't just leave it and say it's a historic building and use it just sparingly for random events and show it off to people and just keep up with the upkeep. Because if you look around Ohio State's campus, it's not only that there's no land, they've already bought all of the land around there. Everything else is Upper Arlington and Grandview.
Yeah, no, they would have to. You'd have to. I don't think there's any scenario where you're building a new one. Not in our lifetime. Maybe your guys, and certainly maybe my kids. But I think what you have to try to do, and I remember when I was leaving Channel 10 in 2015 doing a story with Gene, and they went down to Jerry World and did like a walk around of like, what can we take from here? What can we do? Now, that at the time was $1 billion state of the art, all the amenities. You never have to wait for a beer or bathroom venue juxtaposed to the shoe. Like, they're not similar in any way. But one thing that Gene said was, look, there's a way that they do Wi-Fi that we could try to do Wi-Fi. Now, I haven't been at the shoe and worried about Wi-Fi. I have no idea if it's great or not, but it seems like anytime we talk about it, people complain about it. I don't know if it's better now than it's used to be. I don't know.
It has gotten better since when I was in school, but they were always promising it when I was in school, and I never really noticed it. I find when you're in the bowl, like actually at your seat, it's not too bad. But in concourses and stuff, because of all the concrete and the amount of people, I don't think it works at all. But that's because they also put those extra, they're on like the hand railings, the extra routers or modems, whichever one it has to be to make that possible, to have, you can connect your cellular data. So it is better, but it's not a big enough difference maker. No. It's just like an expected thing now. Like, that's not I wouldn't write home to be like, man, guys, I went to an Ohio State game, and I'll tell you what, I was able to send a tweet.
Look, just turn it off and turn it on again. Like, what's so hard about that?
The whole stadium.
I forgot to even mention that they want to do playoff games at home sites. So if you're going to bring the eyes of the college football world, because that's what will be on it, if Ohio State is hosting the first or second round of the expanded college football playoff that goes to 30 teams in a decade, that's got to be state of the art.
Have we gotten Ross Bjork's opinion on that?
Not yet. I don't think I don't know that it's been asked. He's got so many. He's trying to tackle college sports. Like, he's not ready for a horseshoe conversation. These are my 3 checklists. It is the shoe. It's the one that's most important. It's the one that it's the most difficult. What I think will be done first is the Woody.
It's also the cheapest one.
It's the easiest. It's the cheapest. Well, I don't know. The shoe could be. I guess it just depends on what you want to do with the shoe.
It's $450 million to do what they want to do at Nebraska Stadium.
Well, it could be that to build a new Woody.
Yeah,
it might be $450 million. I mean, it could be that same thing. I mean, with what they're going to need to build there. Here are the things like my checklist, just selfishly. To me, Ohio Stadium, every seat back. Like, it's enough. Like, nothing and it all should be seat back. You're gonna lose attendance, so what? You'd probably lose 20,000 seats doing this everything, all my checklists here. But number 1 would be seat backs. Number 2 would be B deck. You got to sort that out. You got to figure out. There are too many seats in that place that are brutal.
Yeah.
And where you can't see the field, you got to figure out a solution for that, and whether that's making it more luxury boxes, or maybe that you do some of those. I mean, like in Jerry World, they have that area where you just stand, like just standing room only, you just stand. Maybe one of the sections is that, or several of the sections are that, and that's a flat concourse. Like, that would be really cool.
That's the biggest
last
problem.
thing I would do is you have to connect south stands. You have to. You can't have a portion of the stadium disconnected from the rest of it.
No, you need better concourse stuff, and so that people can go around and experience it, because that's really the biggest problem of like actually being there on game day. As long as you have a seat that can see, because an obstructed view, that's the worst thing, that you bought tickets and now you can't even see the game. But as long as you can see from your seat, the 2 things that don't work about it are you're either at your seat or in line. There is nothing else to do in the stadium. And every other stadium that is, of a newer age has some sort of concourse, some sort of bar somewhere that you can hang out with. I'm not sure what they can do on campus, but just something that you can do. Because right now, when I go into the shoe, I either go to the bathroom or hit the concession stand, and then I go to my seat, and that's all I can do.
No, that's it. Yeah. So those things need to be sorted. And we had that architect who sent us like his plans for connecting South Stadium. I mean, he was an architect. He wasn't a city planner. He was an architect, and he had to kind of land out pretty good. Seemed like it would be a bit of a win. But those are the things they got to do, because the most important thing going forward is going to be, in terms of on campus, is going to be making sure that thing stays someplace where generations are going to want to go forever. And kids are more fickle now than they've ever been. We're more fickle now than we've ever been. The options have been are now better than they've ever been. This is job one. On campus, yeah, he's fixed college athletics, all the big NIL, all that. Go to that, Ross. But then back here, this will be the one, is what this looks like going forward. We do have we talked a lot about the draft picks for Fox's college football schedule. We do have we have their top 3 picks for the season. It's now been made public. And part of the reason they didn't take Ohio State, Michigan had to do with the election. We will get to that coming up next. In addition to that, Latham Ransom was on with the Juice Bringers. We'll have that for you as well. Bishop and Friends right here on The Fan.
We know everything about you. We know you love the Buckeyes. We know you love the Jackets. We know you're wearing a red shirt. Just freak the hell out of someone. The Fan.
Some people just know the more you protect, the more you save with Allstate. Because they know insurance math. Like if you protect your home and auto, Allstate can save you up to 25%. So it's like losing money if you don't bundle. Save more when you protect more. Bundle home and auto with Allstate today.
Bundled savings vary by state and are not available in every state. Saving up to 25% is the countrywide average of the maximum available savings off the home policy. Allstate Vehicle and Property Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Listen up, gamers. Mountain Dew has always been your go-to for a refreshing citrus kick. Now it's also your go-to for gaming rewards. With Mountain Dew Gaming Rewards, you just look for codes under the caps of specially marked 20-ounce bottles of Mountain Dew. Enter those codes online to bank points, and then redeem them for awesome gaming gear. Everything from gift cards, game copies, controllers, consoles, custom Mountain Dew gaming gear, and more. Join Mountain Dew Gaming Rewards now.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at mountaindewgaming.com and 2525. Voter prohibited.
Grab life by the chicken fingers and savor the day with hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and that secret cane sauce that makes everything that much better.
Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love.
Big things are happening on the east side.
We're ready to deal. Come negotiate during May's Dealin' Days at Lindsay Honda. Lower payments, better financing, more value for any trade. Shop lindsayhonda.com and see new Hondas with thousands in savings plus many other deals. We'll work hard to get you a payment you can afford. Now during May Dealin' Days at Lindsay Honda.
Honda makes the cars, Lindsay makes the difference.
See lindsayhonda.com for program details.
The Sign and Drive Green Tag event continues, offering 0% for 84 months with no money down on a John Deere compact utility tractor with loader. Limited time offer. Visit your local Ag Pro today. Offer ends May 31st, 2024. Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details.
The Fan is your home for NBA playoff action. Catch every game of the conference finals and NBA finals on The Fan and ESPN Columbus. How does one listen to such magical things? On the Fan app, silly. Download the 97.1 The Fan app today. Do it.
Your bathroom is boring and basic too. It seems like there's nothing you can do. A better bath awaits. You'll feel brand new, relaxing in a world of peace at the Bath Authority.
And right now, get $1,500 off a new shower or bath, plus 36 months of interest-free financing. It can all be installed in as little as 1 day.
You're our priority at the Bath Authority.
Two guys drove to work. Neither guy wore a seatbelt. One guy got a ticket. One guy didn't. The same two guys drove home. One guy wore his seatbelt. One guy didn't. One guy made it home. The guy not wearing his seatbelt didn't. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Glo Fiber Business is now in Ohio, and your business is our priority. Glo Fiber delivers reliably fast, custom, and prepackaged internet plans to meet the growing needs of your business. And our dependable 24/7 personal support means your business stays connected. Glo Fiber is here, and we mean business. Find out more at 833-WANT-GLO or visit glofiberbusiness.com today. Glo Fiber Business is not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
This is the sound of a popular American motorcycle. It's the sound of freedom, the open road, really good times. And this is what it sounds like with a drunk guy in it. How do you like the sound of that? Cops are cracking down on drunk motorcycle riders. If you ride drunk, you will get caught and you will get arrested. Drunk riding. Over the limit, under arrest. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Transportation.
Not wearing your seatbelt could cost you a ticket or your life. Don't risk it. Click it or ticket. Paid for by NHTSA.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Looks like we're going to be tracking quite a few clouds out there today, but there will be sunshine as well. Highs will be in the upper 80s, and as we go towards tonight, we drop it down to the mid 60s. Look for scattered showers on your Wednesday with highs in the upper 80s. I'm Doppler 10 meteorologist Dylan Robichaud on 97.1 The Fan.
Tipico Sportsbook is the exclusive online sportsbook partner of Bishop and Friends. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
After putting up with Tom Tiberi for a decade, the broadcast gods gave Bo these two. This is Bishop and Friends.
Hey, it's Chaps, and that sizzle you hear isn't from Ball So Hard University. It's from a pan. How about making a bacon 180 with Awaken 180? Imagine dropping pounds while still enjoying that crispy, savory goodness. I did. One of the 50 reasons I chose Awaken 180. 80 plus pounds in only 4 months. Plus, I lost some extra weight in the year since. And I did it while still enjoying a ton of my favorite foods. The difference, I had my coach Mary showing me how to enjoy them the right way. A full bacon 180. Okay, maybe you're not a bacon fan. Don't see why not, but okay. No bacon, no problem. Awaken 180 caters to any diet or taste profile. Vegetarian, vegan, omnivore, even flexitarian. Yes, that is a thing, and you're covered too. The point, if you want to lose weight, lose it fast, and then keep it off, then make your own Bacon 180 with Awaken 180. Online, awaken180weightloss.com. And Bishop and Friends, we're sponsored by Awaken 180. Fast, sustainable weight loss without medications. The solution for weight loss. Awaken 180 weight loss. And Bo, I looked up flexitarian.
Okay.
I don't see how it's different than omnivore, but it's like pescatarian, but you just occasionally eat any type of meat. You mostly do vegetables and eat a little bit of meat. And I'm like, well, isn't that just the ratio of eating both?
Okay, yeah. All right, I pulled it up. Flexitarian diet, flexible eating style that emphasizes the addition of plant or plant-based foods and beverages. Okay. Incorporates dairy and eggs and encourages meat to be consumed less frequently or in smaller portions. That just feels like eating smart.
Yeah, it's not like it's just omnivore, but just, like thinking about it a little bit more and trying to put the right things in your body.
So instead of having the majority of a plate being like the ribeye, have the majority of the plate be the broccoli.
So,
and the smaller bit of the ribeye would be the way to do it.
But flexitarians are covered too. Come on down.
You're all satisfied there. This was Michael what is his name? Michael Mulvihill. He's one of these guys he's with Fox, and he does the insights and analytics, but he also has this draft of how they decided what games they're going to have this year on Fox. Remember, we got those last week at the Upfront. So the top 3 picks for Fox this season, we actually did this. Like, what ones would we draft? And Ohio State, Michigan went 1, and it did. That was the one that was number 1. The number 2 pick was Texas, Michigan. The number 3 pick for Fox was Ohio State, Penn State, or Oregon, Michigan. So both of those games are set for November 2nd. So the reason I'm guessing that those haven't been announced is Fox will have the ability to flex to the one that they want in that case.
That goes back to what Ben Koo was saying about how they really kind of pick weekends more so than they pick individual games. But the weekend, the reason why they pick the weekend is because of the games. But there you go. There's an example of one where they're going to sit back and say, we'll wait to decide which one we want as the first pick of this week.
So part of the reason that they did it instead of Ohio State at Oregon is the election, right? Because the election will be the following Tuesday. So that November 2nd, and then you'll go into the election on the following Tuesday. I already know the answer to this. Can you imagine the price for ads on a college football game on November 2nd? What you could charge? I mean, just wrap your head around that. Like in a presidential election year that will be as hotly contested as this.
On what could be,
the most watched event. The most watched things that week in sports are going to be the NFL games that week and these games.
That's the only reason I stopped, because I can't for sure say what the NFL has on their slate there, but that's gonna be up there. It's gonna be that has chances to be those like 10, 11 million viewers that Ohio State can find themselves in the neighborhood of. Yeah.
Yeah. And Michigan, Oregon would be, if they're both good, would be in the mix as well. But the 5 most watched things that weekend are going to be college football and all right, I'm going to give you the NFL. Here's the NFL slate for week 9. I'll pull this up right now. This is the NFL slate. So they're going to have so the big ones will be the 4:25 will be Detroit at Green Bay on Fox. The Sunday night game is Jacksonville at Philly. Let's see if there's actual thinking to this. Battleground states. Yeah, there is. There is. Michigan and Wisconsin.
Oh, man.
Battleground. Sunday night football is Florida, which isn't battleground anymore, but used to be, and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.